Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nelo and you're watching Nelo Stitches. Today tutorial I'll be learning how to make this beautiful dress you're seeing on your screen. And I made use of 1.5 yard of Ankara fabric for the upper part, and I bought 3 yards of crepe fabric for the down part, but I didn't finish the 3 yards, of course. So if this is what you're interested in, please keep watching, like and share this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. So here is the upper part. We're going to start cutting the upper part, and this is 2 folds, the back and the front. 1 2 for the front, 1 2 for the back. Okay, so the length is my nipple length, which is 11 inches plus 1 inch for sewing allowance, making it 12 inches. That is the length I'm using here. Okay, I'm using my nipple length, which is 11 inches, and then 1 inch for sewing allowance, making it 12 inches. So the width is bust divided by 4 plus extra 2 or 3 inches. Okay, so here I'm going to mark the shoulder I'm working with, which is 7.5, and then the neck width I'm using 3.5 for the neck width. Okay, 3.5 for the neck width, and the neck depth for the back I'm using 1 inch, and the neck depth for the front I'm using 4 inches. So this is 1 inch for the back, and then for the front I'll be using 4 inches for the neck depth for the front, or 3. Okay, I made it 3.5 to 4 inches, depend on your choice. So I changed my mind, I used 3.5, and then I'm going to connect like so. This is the front neck depth, and this is the back neck depth. Okay, and then I'm going to slant my shoulder by 1 inch. Here I'll slant my shoulder by 1 inch, then I'll connect it to the neck width like this. Then from that shoulder line I'm going to mark my armhole. I'm using 8 inches like this, so I'll mark my armhole line 8.58 inches, depend on your armhole. So here I'm going to mark my bust divide by 4, which is 10, and then I'll mark the shoulder so that I can get a straight line for my armhole. I'll be marking exactly what I marked at the shoulder, which is 7.5 shoulder divided by 2, and then I'll connect to the shoulder slant like this. So next I'm going to add sewing allowance. This is 10 inches bust divided by 4 plus 2 inches, 1 inch for ease, 1 inch for sewing allowance. You can also use ½ inch for ease if you wish. Okay, so here I'm going to go up by 3 inches, and then I'll come in by 0.75. I'll connect like so, and then I'll curve my armhole to meet the bust measurements like this. This is for the front armhole, and then for the back armhole I'm going to go in by ½ inch like this, and then I'll connect. Okay, connect like so. This is for the back. Sorry, I marked 4 inches up. That's because I marked 8 inch as my armhole line, so I know the middle is half, so I just mark 4 inches. I didn't go ahead to measure the midpoint. Okay, in case if you're wondering. So I'll just bring this line down here like this, and I'll cut. First of all, I'll be cutting the back neckline, then I'll cut the shoulder slant, and I will cut the back armhole first. So I forgot to add ½ inch for my shoulder slant, but it's fine. So here I'm going to cut the back armhole first of all, and then I'll take out my pins that I used to hold them together, and I'll take out the back, and I'll cut the front armhole now, and after which I'm going to cut the front neckline as well. Next, I'm going to mark the opening at the front, which is 4 inches deep. That is how deep I want it. And then at the neckline, I'm going to mark 1/2 inch inward like this. I'll just mark at 1/2 inch like so, and I'll connect it down to the 4 inches I marked like this, and I'll flip the fabric over and I'll mark the same thing. So I'm just guessing the 1/2 inch, and I hope I got it right. Okay, so when I open it up, this is what it looked like. I connect, so that's how I'm going to turn the neckline. So I'll just notch the middle here, okay, and I'll set this aside. So here I've brought the crepe fabric, so I fold like so. If you want it to be very full, you fold to the end like this, but I don't want mine to be full, so I'm going to fold halfway. That's like a triangular form, just like you're folding your flay, okay? So I just fold halfway because I don't want it to be too full. If you want it to be too full, you fold full, okay? So I'm going to, the length I'm working with is 40. The upper part is 11, while the down part the down gathers I'm using 9. So 9 plus 11, that's 20. That means 20 minus 40, that's 20 left, okay? So this middle one is going to be 20 inches long. So just place your fabric and make sure you got the exact measurement like this, and then you connect, okay? You see what I'm doing? I just place the African print on top of it to get the actual measurement, and then I connect because they have to match each other, okay? So next I'm going to take my full measurement. In order to get a perfect circle down, I'll start taking the measurements from up where the triangle started. Okay, so I'm going to start from the tip of the curved fabric like this. If I start from down, I'll not get a perfect circle, so I'll just start from here. So this is what I have, 17 here. So I'll add that 20 to 17, that's 27 now, okay? So 20 that I'm supposed to mark to the 17 we have here, that's 27 plus 1 inch or 1/2 inch sewing allowance, that's 27.5. That is what I'm marking. I hope this is clear. In order to get a perfect circle, I'm starting my measurement from the tip. So when I measure from the tip, you marked where it stopped at the, what is it called? The Ankara part where you mark, and then you add it to the length you want your crepe to be. That is what I did. Okay, hope this is clear enough. So I'm connecting them, and now I'm going to take out this African print. So let me just cross check to be sure it's 20. Yeah, see, 20.5. Okay, so now I'm going to take out the African print to cut this out. My table is small, so but I just have to make use of it. So I'll connect this down from the side of the African print. Okay, I'll just connect it down just the way my ruler is placed. That is how you're going to do that. So here, trying to bring the camera down for you guys to see. So here I'm going to connect like so. Okay, so I'm going to cut this out now. Okay, so I'm going to take out the African print fabric, and I will not be cutting exactly at the line I marked earlier. On this line, I will not be cutting there. I'll add 1/2 inch for joining of that African fabric to the crepe. And then I'm going to use this to cut out the second one for the back, okay? And after cutting the second one for the back, I'm going to measure what I have at the down part of the flay. So you measure your flay, whatever you have. Like my case, I got 44.5. You measure around here. So 44.5 times 2, because this is just the front. The front alone is 44.5. The back is 44.5. Plus, you plus them. That means 88, 89, then it will be 89. So you'll be cutting 89 times 2 or 89 times 3, depending on how full you want your gathers to be. That will be the length of your gather. And for the yes, that will be the width of your gather, sorry. And then for the length, like I said, is 9 inches that I want to use for the down part. And then to that 9 inches, you add extra 3.5 inches. 1.5 inches for the ruffle at the top part, 1 inch for turning the down part, 1 inch for turning the upper parts for the of the ruffle. Okay, so that is what I have here. And the width I said is times 2 of that dress. The down part is 44.5 for the front, the back 44.5. That's making 89. So I cut 89 times 2. Okay. So for the sleeve, I'm using 1 yard of African print for the sleeve, and the length of the sleeve is the African print times 2. The African print is 45, right? So I folded it into 2, making it 20 something, 22.5. Okay, so because I'm cutting the front and the back together, I fold the 1 yard into 2. So unfold is 8 inches. 18 inches, sorry. Unfold is 18 inches. So the length of my sleeve is 14 minus 2 for the band is 12. To that 12, I'll add extra 3 inches for because I want it to be a little bit full for the volume at the down part. So what I marked here is 15 inches. I said this full length of my sleeve is 14 minus 2 inches for band, making it 12. To that 12, I added 3 inches to it. That's 15. So what I marked here is 15. So next, I'll just mark 9 inches like so. Just mark 9 inches like so. And because I want to gather the upper part also. And then I'll come down here and mark 3.5. So I'll connect from that 9 inches point I marked down to the 3.5 like this. Okay, because I want to gather the upper part also. And here the fullness at the down part, you can do your round sleeve times 3 or your round sleeve times 2. If your round sleeve is 10, you can do times 2, making it 20. That's 20 on fold is 10, right? But if your round sleeve is 15 times 2 is 30, so unfold is 15. So anything you like, or you can decide to use the whole half 1 yard, okay, which is 36. But for me, I did my round sleeve times 2. My round sleeve is 13. 13 times 2 is 26, right? So I just marked 13 here on fold. 13, exactly 13 here on fold, and I added 2 inches to that, just, in case. And then I cut out, and I'll open this up and open this part because this is actually on fold. Like I said, I fold the 45 inches length into 2. So I wanted to gather here and the down part, but I changed my mind. I'll show you guys what I did to the sleeve later. I didn't do that anymore. I didn't gather the upper part anymore. I decided to do exactly what was on the thumbnail. The lady on the thumbnail is wearing. So here I folded the pieces into 2, and I'm going to trace out the neckline and the shoulder for my facing. So this is the back facing. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing for the front also. So for the front, for the facing length, you're going to mark 4 inches or 4.5. That's for the facing length. So that is what I'm marking here. And after marking, I'm going to connect the points together, and I'll cut out Okay, so this is what the back facing. You place it right side facing the right side of the back pattern, and then you sew the neckline with 1/2 inch, and I'll do the same to the front. So guys, my camera stopped recording when I was cutting the front, so sorry about that. So I place my fabric on fold also, and I make sure the length is more than the where my opening at the front will stop, and then I trace the neckline, the shoulder, and I connect it to this point from the shoulder. Okay, so this is how it's going to be. You place this right side facing the right side of your front panel, and then you turn the neckline with 1/2 inch. You come down to the opening and sew upward again with 1/2 inch. Okay, that is how I'm going to turn the front panel. And then for the sleeve, guys, like I said before, I changed my mind. I decided to do exactly what the lady on the thumbnail is wearing. So what I will do is to mark my armhole. The armhole I used for the dress is 8 inches plus 2, making it 10. For sewing allowance, making it 10. So I mark 10, and I'm going to come down by 3.5. Just like normal sleeve, just like we do normal sleeve. Okay, just like we do normal sleeve. The only difference is that the down part is going to be full. It's only the down that I'm going to gather. So I'm going to connect like so, just like normal sleeve. It's just the down part that will be gathered. But of course, you know, now sleeve that you did not cut exactly when you're cutting the first time is going to have a little bit of fault. So I'm just saying, in case if you don't want to do gather at the upper part, you want to use exactly the style at the thumbnail, this is how to go about it. You mark your armhole, whatever you use for your armhole, either 9 or 8, and then you add 2 inches to that. And then you connect. You come down by 3 or 4 inches. You curve, and then you connect it to the width of the down part of your sleeve. Okay, so as not to make the mistake I made. I wanted to gather actually, but I changed my mind. So this is the sleeve now. Only gather the down part. Okay, so I'm going to notch the midpoint of the sleeve, and we are done. So this is the band. The band is my round sleeve plus sewing allowance of 2 inches. Okay, if your round sleeve is 10, you mark 10 plus 2, making it 12. Whatever it is, just add 2 inches to it for your sewing allowance. And like the length I told you is 2 inches, so it's going to be on fold. That means it's 5 inches. So when you fold it into 2, I'm going to iron 1/2 inch here and 1/2 inch at the downside also. Okay, and I'll fold it into 2 like so, and iron also. So yeah guys, I'm done with the neckline for the back. I notched and top stitch on the facing. Okay, I notched and you top stitch on the facing so that it will lay flat. Okay, so after that you go and give it a very good press. And here is the front also. I'm done sewing, so I'll just notch around, and I'll open this opening at the front here. Okay, so after this I'm going to turn it and give it a very good press. Okay, so you give it a very good press. You can use hemming gum to hold the facing together. You can decide to tack it with needle and thread, and you can also serge the facing down part. Okay, you go and weave, do inner weaving on the facing so that it will look neat, or you can fold it with 1/2 inch. Okay, so here is what I have. I'm going to just give it a very good press, and I will show us what next to do. Then you join the shoulder after ironing. You join the two shoulders together like this, so you can sew shoulder to shoulder, facing to facing. Okay, or you fold it like this. and sew, which is what I'm going to do. Okay, so after that I'll shape the side. But before I shape the side, I'm going to join the crepe fabric to it. Okay, I'm going to join this crepe to the back, this one for the back, and sew with 1/2 inch. Okay, and I'll do the same to the front panel before I shape the side with 1 inch down. Okay, so here is the gathers the down part of the dress. So as you can see, I folded it down and I folded it up. I said you fold with 1/2 inch, and this is you mark 1 inch and then you gather it from there for your ruffle. Okay, not 1 inch, 1.5. I use 1.5. Okay, so if your fabric is not long enough, you can join. As you can see, I'm showing you where I joined like 3 fabrics together to get that. Okay, so here guys, I'm done shaping the side and the sleeve also. Guys, so sorry, I was videoing the sleeve, but I didn't know the camera stopped. Okay, I didn't know it stopped recording. Maybe I don't know what happened, Sha, but I'll show you guys how I do that. Okay, so here I've also shaped the side of the dress. So after that, you measure the round circle here so that you can gather this so that it will be the same size. You measure this round and you gather the down part. So this is how you're going to join this down part. You place it on top like this and be sewing on your sewing machine. Make sure you mark half inch round your dress so that I'll be placing it on that 1/2 inch and be sewing it round. Okay, you sew this round your dress. Okay, so after measuring whatever you have, you gather this to be that same measurement. If it's 60 you have, you gather this ruffle to be 60, and then you shape the side so that you just, as you can see, I close the side so it's just circle. As you can see, I close the side after gathering to match this. Okay, so but if you're not sure of what you are doing, you can just gather and be sewing round. When you get to the end, you close up the side and sew it to the remaining part of the dress. Okay, so here is the band, the belt I'll be using. So you just cut the length of your choice. The width is 2 inches. I cut 5 inch wide and I fold into 2 and sew. So what I have left here is 2 inches. I'll just go and iron it up. So you just the length of your choice. Okay, so that is it for this. And for that sleeve, I'll be using these pieces to show you guys how I sew the sleeve, in case for those of us that don't know how to do it. Okay, so like I said, the sleeve length is 5 inches, the band, and you fold into 2 like so. It's going to be on fold like so, and you need 1/2 inch. You also fold 1/2 inch on both sides. You're going to gather the down part of your sleeve to match that point. Okay, you gather the down part of your sleeve to match the band. Remember to add 2 inches to your band for your sewing allowance. So you gather the down part to match the band, and after that, let me use pin to see if you guys can understand what I'm saying. But just gather it. After that, you flip it over and top stitch. So the top stitch is going to be on the right side. Okay, top stitch on the right side of your sleeve so that it will stay flat and neat like this one, as you can see. Okay, I don't know what happened when I was videoing it, it went off. So please guys, I hope you understand how I make the sleeve. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any question, you can still ask me on the comment, and I'll be seeing you guys in my next tutorial. Bye.